to another episode of the Tim Balls Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Randazzo. It's Friday, Fantasy Frenzy. We're back. It's the day after Halloween, November 1st. Big day in front of us. Big day. We hope you guys bring us every single fantasy question you guys have. Sits, starts, ads, drops, trades, or if you're 2 and 6 like me, Bruce, and Uncle Sam, just what you should do with your dumpster fire team in a must-win week. So it's going to be a good one today. Before we do all that, my co-hosts, to my right, it is the one. Oh, wait, no, that's to the left. I'm a little worse for the wear at the moment.
No, it's your right. That's your right.
You're right.
No, but
Were you going to introduce Uncle Sam? That's your right.
yeah, it's my right.
I'm to your left, but you can't. You've been going that way for years, so you can't say to your left because that would be
That,
Are you smoking
their-
versus
fuck it
fucking
all.
to
weed,
their
man,
left.
dude?
It's
Wake
him.
up.
to my right, it is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Oh,
To my left, it is none other than our very own Mr. Zolo, Mike Palazzolo.
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
And behind the computer,
Scrubbing the toilets and fucking picking up the panties.
Okay.
his gooiness, it is Bruce the Tugboat Venditti. Leave it there for a second. Leave it there. I want everybody to relish.
Yes, I want that camera on.
I want everybody
The
to
whole
relish in the beauty, in the pinkness. That is
Pinkness.
that is Bruce.
And he's
feel like
not
I don't
high
look
right
that
now, so
pink.
he says. I don't believe him, but
So
Bruce, how was your Halloween?
it was actually pretty good. Had a great Halloween.
Highlights,
party.
low points, pits, peaks.
spitting in his bottle.
Spitting in my bottle. Everybody gets to look at it.
Jizz in the bottle.
Highlights, I mean, got to see a bunch of people that I love seeing,
That's,
hanging out with. There was really no low.
you had no low points. Honest to God, I don't think there was a low point.
Is there anyone that you wish to spend it with that you didn't get a chance to spend it with?
Not a single person.
That's kind of a dick move
I know it was.
because neither of them were here.
That's it.
Well,
Neither of them were there.
I know what he was referring to, so
I was referring to Uncle Sam.
no, he
What do you
wasn't.
mean?
Yes, he was. He was definitely referring.
No, he
to Uncle Sam.
wasn't. Look at his face.
So Uncle Sam snubbed me on the Halloween party last night. He
Listen to
didn't-
me. I don't
Oh
do
no,
fucking
I did
parties.
too though.
Yeah, Zolo also snubbed the Halloween
did
party.
too.
And I will say, you two, by leaps and bounds, were the most requested human being. I did not know this many people liked you the way that they did. Everybody was like, where's your
Oh,
uncle?
you can tell everybody that said anything that I don't like them.
So here's the thing when it comes to you is no one gets to see you in a setting outside of this. So it's like they get excited to see you
I'm the
genuinely.
same person whether I'm on here or fucking at home.
And they like that
Yeah,
person and they
that's
want to
right.
interact with that person.
This is not an act. I am the same person you see in front of you.
No one said it was.
I'm
They-
in no way, shape, or form involved in any. I can't say it. Go ahead.
You what? Go ahead. No, what
No,
were you
I
say?
can't say it.
You were in no way, shape, or form.
You will be canceled if I say it. Go ahead.
Well, if that's the way you want to look at it, I guess. But no, you were the most requested person there. How was your
Okay.
Halloween?
It was great.
Did you
Loved it.
eat anything fun?
I had a couple of brownies, some pizza roll. I ate like total dog shit.
Ooh,
Uh,
love that.
little chicken, boneless chicken fucking wings. That was it. That's all I did. I watched football. Watch Aaron Rodgers pull one out of his ass yesterday. By the way, everybody thought I was wrong on that game. Hello.
It's hard to pick the Jets. I
Hello.
wonder
Every blind squirrel finds a nut.
what
every
if
once
Diggs
in a while.
what if Diggs plays? What if Diggs plays? Does it change anything for you?
I don't think it would have mattered, to be honest with you.
Fair.
I really don't. I just don't. Dude, what's the name? Picked up the slack. Tank Dell picked up the slack.
Tank Dell looked
Guy
good.
had 140 yards receiving.
Tank Dell looked very good.
You know,
Tank Dell looked very good. I feel like they can't keep Stroud upright. I feel like that's the issue.
no, that to me surprised me because of all the money they've invested in the last couple of years on their offensive line. But you know what? They were getting a lot of pressure on Rodgers too. He was dog shit the whole first half. He didn't do nothing the whole first half. Then all of a sudden, an explosion. You know,
I mean, the Jets did. Yeah, they came back.
I don't know who's calling the plays there, but I didn't see a route under 15 yards. This guy, every route that they were running was beyond beyond the 15-yard mark, and I did not understand that. That Green Bay with Rodgers was probably one of the best screen teams ever. You have a guy that can catch the football in the backfield. Why are you not doing that?
They wanted to sling it.
I just think that I don't know who's calling the plays, but they're awful. I think their offensive coordinator is dog shit, and I mean literal dog shit.
That team needs to be torn completely down to the studs. And
I don't think so. You know what I think they need? A real fucking offensive coordinator. And Aaron Rodgers needs to shut the fuck up and just listen to what people are telling him. That his fucking people are telling him. I don't know if he's audibling out of a lot of these plays. I have no idea. See, we don't know because the OC is so far up his ass. We don't know where Rodgers fucking ends and he begins.
All right.
real quick, our friend Habibi Edition is asking what kind of candy you gave out yesterday.
It was all kinds, dude.
What's your favorite
there
one?
was fucking Suckers, Reese's.
What are you pulling out of the
Twix,
bucket for yourself?
For myself?
Yeah. Like, what's your
Dude,
go-to?
my go-to was the fucking was the Reese Pumpkins, dude.
Dude, you know,
I ate so many of those, I was fucking sick.
if I had to pick, dude, I was pounding Kit Kats.
I
just
can't
into
do
Kit Kats
You know
right
what?
now.
Kit Kats are
give me
good.
Fucking cotton mouth.
Do they?
And I'm like Bruce. Now I'm looking for a fucking Mountain Dew and some Mrs. Fields cookies.
Anything with wafer or nougat.
You're into the wafer and nougat. What
Yeah.
like you?
Chocolate's like a recent. Not that I never liked chocolate, but now like I'm at this like point in my life where I'm seeking chocolate out these days.
Yeah.
It's got to have something in it. Like I can't bite into just pure chocolate.
See, right now, I think my definitive ranking would be Kit Kat and then Reese's and then Twix at the moment.
Twix are
I
outstanding.
love it's a good Twix bar.
Twix is out, yeah.
Bruce, people are
Left
asking.
or right Twix.
A good Snickers.
People are
is
asking for
always
you to
good.
give more FaceTime. So show them the pinkness and
give 'em
tell them
some
what
face,
candy you like, Bruce.
Bruce, give him some
Give
face.
him some
bud.
face.
What do you guys want?
That's it.
What do you want from
Palacio.
me?
What? Let's go.
Stop
What's
putting
your
me on
Halloween candies of choice? Go.
Reese's.
Oh, that's nothing else. Just that's it.
That's my go-to. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's the
give me your top
dog.
three. Give me your top fucking
Mrs.
three.
Fields cookies, Mountain Dew, and some pizza rolls.
I don't drink Mountain Dew.
pizza rolls.
He thinks Mountain Dew's bad for his sperm count, so he doesn't drink
sperm
Mountain
count.
Dew.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's good that you're building that up.
I'd say Kit
Listen to
Kat
me,
right
dude,
after
you're
Reese's.
24 years old. You got a bad sperm count. You might as well go in that bathroom over here and kill yourself.
And pop's just bad for you.
Yeah.
I don't drink pop at all.
I'm sorry.
I don't drink pop.
Good for you.
Do you have low T?
I don't know.
Uh,
No.
Also,
That's partly why you're losing your hair, is your testosterone levels are in the toilet.
Habibi Edition in the chat asking who's winning in the varsity league. Currently, it's Angie in first.
Wasn't Angie in first a year ago now too?
Yeah, he was. Yes,
Who
he
cares?
was.
He's a little bitch anyway. Let's go.
He came yesterday, and he had great time with Angie last.
Whatever.
Great time.
Whatever. Tell him to keep hanging on his guys.
We have to give a shout out here, though.
Go ahead.
I'd like to give a shout out to my good friends at Eastside Bagel.
I'm sorry?
At Eastside Bagel Company. You don't know that. You're not from around here. Okay.
So good.
Eastside Bagel. I walked in there this morning. They said how big of fans they were of the show, and that we need to put the brain trust together and figure out a way to
Say less.
incorporate Eastside Bagel into the show. So we're going to work on that.
Shout out
Give
to
me some
Eastside
fucking
Bagel.
bagels. I'll start
What's the
talking
guy?
about
What's the
you.
new owner's name? The guy that owns it. I know he's got a deal with South McMahon's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great guys.
I was there
Great
Saturday.
guys, great bagels.
I was there Saturday. I bought Carl G a bagel on Saturday, and then I got it Sunday for my tailgate
Yeah,
before the
I'm
game.
always
I had
a
it
Sunday
twice
morning
this
eat.
week.
I get it.
I
almost
went this
every
morning.
Would you
Sunday.
buy a bagel?
Carl. He went and got
Carl.
the bagel.
Carl was there.
guy
Carl
you
happened to be
What,
there.
Raven Drunk Carl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor Raven drunk.
The only
Swear.
Carl.
The swear.
No, that's your brother.
Well, yeah, but
That's your brother
Carl's a
Joseph.
Swear,
the
too.
swear.
Swear.
Don't ever try to use that name for somebody else.
You,
Your brother-
You said it yourself.
I call your brother the swear because he sways.
Eastside.
Nobody
is
sways like Joseph.
Eastside is
Nobody.
goaded.
Hey, what's going on, man?
So, you know what? Don't ever try to fight your brother because he's got a couple drinks in him. You won't be able to lay a finger on him. He's swaying so much, you won't be able to fucking lay a finger on him.
All right, for
Go
the
ahead.
record, today is Fantasy Frenzy.
Let's do it.
So get your questions in the chat. It's Friday. This is the last. We're at the witching hour of setting your lineup. There's nobody else left on the wire to add and drop. You guys need to get your questions in now. Any other highlights from the game last night that we need to touch on?
Okay.
I mean, the one thing I noticed is that the Texans offense is really missing wide receivers.
Yeah.
I think that all the rumors that we heard that they were going to try and go out and find somebody, I have no idea who it could be, but I think they need to get somebody in.
What are they going to do at this point?
They had
I mean,
the
they
most
got you
loaded
got
room.
what's his name will be back next week.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not
No,
necessarily.
they said he would be ready.
No,
next
they said that's the date he's able to come off IR. He hasn't practiced or anything like that. That's the problem.
The ghost of Bobby Trees is not going to get it done. It's just not. I mean, Tank Dell had 6 receptions. Schultz had 3. Woods had 2. Nobody else could catch a ball. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, it's going to be the John Mechie breakout game.
Joe Mixon catches the ball very well. Why them and the Jets are not running more screens is fucking beyond me, dude.
Joe Mixon didn't have a reception last night.
What did I just say?
It's fucking wild.
Dude, when he was in fucking Cincinnati, he was a fucking weapon, dude.
Yeah, I don't think they're not utilizing anybody properly.
I think there's a lot of teams doing that, not utilizing their guys in the right way.
Well, yeah, where was Braylon Allen last night?
I don't know.
That's it.
He's a third down guy.
The Braylon Allen party seems to have come to a screeching halt. All right, in the YouTube chat, his team was.
You all right?
Somebody in the chat just traded Tariq for Saquon Barkley. How are you feeling about the trade? Oh, Hunt and Tariq. So Kareem Hunt and Tyreek for Saquon Barkley. So I did something similar yesterday. I traded Devon Achane and Tyreek Hill for Saquon Barkley.
How come that them trades just went through and nobody had to wait?
We did wait.
Nobody fucking
The board voted.
whatever.
The board's voted.
The board voted. The board is bullshit.
The board is a rotating board this year. Everybody has a say.
I like
That board is fucking full of shit, dude.
I like the hunt for the Hunt and Tyreek for Saquon.
Yeah.
I think any Eagle is poised for a big second half, and Saquon already had a big first half. So if he stays healthy, that's a good deal there. Hunt's on his way out. Well, not necessarily on his way out, but I mean, we still need to see more from Tyreek. I think there's a scenario where the Dolphins can just completely check out. But yeah, I like that trade for you. That's a good trade.
Well, personally, that's why I did it. Just in case the Dolphins lose again this week and they do decide to check out. I've said all year there are 3 guys who will make great strides towards winning you a championship, and that is Henry, Kamara, and Barkley. So at that point, you pretty much can move whatever for one of those 3. I liked it. I like that trade too, because Kareem Hunt's probably coming towards the end of his. I mean, at some point, Pacheco's going to come back, they said. So
As soon as I made a trade, everybody was fucking talking shit. The minute it went through, the minute it was fucking in front of everybody, everybody was talking shit in your little chat. Because I'm not the cool guy with an iPhone, but I seen it firsthand by the
Who was
the
talking? Out them.
knucklehead I was standing next.
Out them. Who was talking? I didn't see this.
listen, here's the thing. Our trade, it was
Your
a good
trade was horseshit.
Our trade.
Yeah,
it's a
but
good thing it didn't go
was
through.
I was never in the conversation on the last fucking 4 trades that went through.
Well, that's because you don't have an iPhone, so
I don't have an
can't
iPhone.
make you
See, I'm not part of the cool kid club,
in the chat.
the
Start
cool liberal club. I'm not part of it. Go
start
ahead.
2, sit 2. Puka Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., and DJ Moore. Okay,
I would sit DJ Moore.
I'm debating on the DJ Moore thing as well. I think Puka out of those
Puka, you
names,
play.
Puka is a must start.
Yes.
Olave
Hold on.
versus Marvin Harrison.
Hold on. He's going to play, but Puka's very banged up right now. He's got an issue with his knee, and there's a chance he does not play this weekend.
Okay.
And that's a tough secondary, too.
Then let's go on a contingency. If Puka plays, you got to play him.
Puka and DJ Moore is probably my bet here.
I think I'd go Puka and Olave.
I like DJ Moore against the Cardinals secondary. It's bad. It's not good. Their defense is more banged up every week, and people light up the Cardinals secondary.
At what point is Marv gonna just start to light?
No,
up?
Marv's outstanding.
He had
Marv's
20
on.
he had a
yeah.
slump there, but Marv against Chicago,
That's the problem. Is it's against Chicago.
No.
That's a good secondary.
and they might not start Tariq Stevenson this week either, from what I'm hearing.
It's interesting.
as a little disciplinary action taken against him. I don't know. But right now, I think Puka is the must start. Realistically, you can't go wrong with the other ones.
Uncle Sam, you have anything to add there?
No,
You,
I agree.
You'd go Puka and who?
Huh?
Puka and who?
Probably DJ Moore. If what's his name's hurt, Puka's hurt, I would go DJ Moore.
Yeah.
So
In TikTok, shout out to Brendan. What's going on, my dog? Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts this weekend? I think Jaden Daniels is the Giants,
Yeah.
and I don't know who the Eagles are
I like
playing.
Jalen Hurts right now.
The
If-
Eagles.
He's hot right now.
Jalen
Eagles
Hurts is
against
hot.
Jacksonville.
No, I'm going with Jaden Daniels because that matchup's too good to be true. With especially with Burns out and with the banged up Burns and with Thibodeau out. I think the
Burns is
Giants.
playing, he said.
Burns is playing.
Yeah.
He's banged up though.
Yeah.
But Giants defense they got gashed the last 2 weeks. They're not what they were from the beginning of the year, in my opinion. And the Commanders have been doing this thing where they win the games they're supposed to win. I think Jaden Daniels, 1 week healthier, even though I wouldn't be shocked if we talked about this the other day. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose somehow. If you have Jaden Daniels, you gotta let it ride
Yeah.
at the moment.
I don't. Hurts coming off a 40-point week against Cincinnati, playing Jacksonville this week at home.
Hot.
I don't know. I think
hot.
I'd roll Hurts this week.
Yeah.
They said they were going to try and utilize. I don't know how, but they were talking about the fact that they're going to try and utilize him more in the run game. I don't understand how, but that's only good things. We had another one in here. I have Bijan, Saquon, Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore, and Neighbors. In a 10-team PPR, should I offer Brian Thomas Jr. for Debo? In a PPR league, Brian Thomas for Debo. I would hold Brian Thomas, I think.
Yeah, Brian Thomas second half kind of scares me, and he's banged up right now. There's a chance he doesn't play Sunday. Brian Thomas
I hope he fucking plays, dude.
at this point, he's kind of proved that he's a top 10 receiver on the year. He's a league winner. And Debo just can't stay healthy. He's great. Debo's great when he plays. He's outstanding when he plays. I mean, he's on the bye, so you're going to lose this week, but he'll be back.
I would hold Brian Thomas.
That's tricky. I think right now I would hold Brian Thomas if you can. I think Brian Thomas he's a league winner. Christian Kirk just went out. There's a lot to like. Whereas Debo, a lot of what he does is out of the backfield.
Would you as a Debo owner, would you trade him for Brian Thomas right now?
No.
You would hold Debo.
I would keep Thomas.
Shout out to Sippy Cup Chris, by the way, in the chat. Please ask us your fantasy questions if you have any, Sippy.
I'm sorry?
Sippy Cup's in the chat.
What the fuck is that?
He's someone that's in the chat.
Sippy cup.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. You guys are weird.
Real quick,
You guys are all weird.
did anybody's picks change since Wednesday on anything?
Yeah, let's take a look. Pull out the Google Doc.
Let's whip up that Google Doc real quick and see.
The short answer is no. I mean, I'm already 0 for 1.
Yeah, we are 0 for 1. You're the only one who's not 0 for. Yo, you take the Jets?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think you did take the
I
Jets.
took the Jets.
Yeah, I think him and you took the Jets, and we're split.
Who did? Bruce did?
Yeah.
Bruce, you took the
I
Jets?
thought I took.
Bruce took the Jets.
No, yeah, I did
Bruce,
take
He
the-
took the Texans in the over. I
You're
took
an idiot.
Texans
the
and under. You
Texans?
took Texans and under, and then you took Jets and over.
I took Jets. No, did it go over or no?
No,
I don't
Did.
think it didn't go over.
Fuck.
not go over.
No, the Texans didn't do enough
It was a
offensively.
whopping 33 points. This is gonna be a week of unders. I said it. I said
Yeah.
it on Wednesday. It's gonna be a week of unders.
Real quick, Tyler asked Flex, Cedric Tillman or Xavier Worthy. I like Xavier Worthy.
Cedric
this week.
Tillman all day long and twice on Sunday, dog.
This weekend, I like Worthy. I think Worthy's poised to break out going forward.
All right.
Hopkins will take some pressure off of him, but
30-30. That's who he looks for.
I'm not big on the Browns. I think that was just a one-off. But Cedric Tillman has looked good, and he's going to get crazy targets. And same for that matter with David Njoku.
12 targets that first week he played.
I think Njoku is also going to be a target hog. Tillman and Njoku are both going to be target hogs.
Tillman had 12 targets in that first game.
There was
9 last week.
There's something that I wanted to talk about real quick on Get Up this morning on ESPN.
Oh God.
They posed a trade for the Lions to acquire Myles Garrett. Okay? And I know it's been well documented on this show that you give up whatever. Jahmyr Gibbs
No.
All right.
3 first-round
No,
picks
I don't give a fuck.
and a second
Absolutely
for Myles
not.
Garrett.
No.
Who came up with that?
Mike Tannenbaum.
Mike Tannenbaum. There's a reason he got
guess
fired.
what? That's exactly why he got fired.
That's why
from
he
the
got
Jets.
fired.
I'll be
That's
honest.
why he got fired from the Jets.
And it literally said,
kidding me?
Who says,
Who says no? Well,
Everyone.
that's a universal no.
That is a
You don't
universal.
give up Jameer Gibbs.
I don't
or
think
a defensive
realistically. I don't know if there's. Is there anybody like if the Crosby trade was 2 firsts and Jameer? Would you trade?
No,
No.
no.
You couldn't do
You
it.
need Jameer Gibbs to win a Super
I'd give him
Bowl.
the two ones.
3 ones.
I'd give 3 ones.
Three.
I'd give 3
Three.
ones for Garrett or Crosby.
Gibbs,
I would
3
too.
ones.
I'd
You know
give 3
what?
ones.
I would do
And
that
the
too.
second.
Yeah, so would I, for sure.
Because they're low round ones. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
At that point.
And that like literally if it's one of those names and they stay healthy, you're gonna win the Super Bowl with one of those names. And you sign them long term, you pair them with Hutchinson, your defense is straight for a half decade
The fucking
until the end of the
monster.
decade. Your D
Yeah, they're a
line's
monster
incredible.
for 6 years.
So that's worth it. You know, those are sure things.
Yeah.
That being said, no, I'm not giving up.
Not giving up.
There's
I'm not
players.
Giving up assets.
There's
to
players.
get those guys.
Malcolm Rodriguez is a name that I think of. I don't know, a depth D lineman maybe,
What?
but they don't
Hey,
have it.
here, I got one for you.
Broderick Martin.
I'll give him the 2 fucking ones, and I'll give him Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams. There you go. I'll give you him. You can have him. We're debating on whether we're gonna sign him for a 5th year.
JMO
Fucking take
screams
him, dude.
Raider.
I'm sorry.
Screams, yeah.
JMO screams Raider.
They just sent him.
There
to
you
the
go.
Raiders.
Can I-
Send him to the fucking Raiders for Max Crosby. Go ahead.
Real quick, back to JMO talk, but very briefly, very briefly. After the last few days, how they've gone, his teammates have been nonstop posting him in the jail costume from Halloween.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
It's a joke. And on top of that, like the way it's been addressed in the press conference, I don't think the locker room even gives a shit. And that's how unconcerned anyone in the locker room. Like people want to create the narrative that this is some distraction. I don't think anyone cares as long as he still plays at a high level and he's not hurting people around him. I don't think anyone cares.
You know what I'm thinking right now? Who come out with all this bullshit? I that's what I don't understand.
It was out. I told you. Someone texted me.
I get that it was out. What I'm saying is, why make that into a fucking big deal?
Because that's what people love to do. People love to do. Mike Valeni loves to take a negative narrative in this town for ratings.
Well, you know, they all do on that.
They all
station.
do.
They were awful this morning, by the way. I had to turn the fucking radio station off this morning because I heard John Jansen talking about sphincters. And I was like, you know what? I'm done right here. I turned the fucking station.
Tune into
Are
Tip Balls.
you kidding me, dude?
Yeah.
Are
Tip
you
Balls.
fucking kidding me?
We don't do sphincter talk
Listen
here.
to that
Every once in a
bullshit,
while.
dude.
We might
And
have
hey,
a
I
sphincter.
like Jansen. I like him.
I don't know.
But man, when you're talking about
I'm a Michigan fan, and he's way too
curl
much
the
of a suck me off for
buttholes and
Michigan football.
sphincters with some girl on there. I don't know why she's on there. She's awful. I mean, come on, dude. What the fuck are we doing here, dude? She gets on there and talks about Taylor Swift and what's trending. Who gives a shit? It's a fucking sports station.
What is trending?
What are we
Do
doing?
we learn?
I don't know, dude.
Anyways,
Women.
Tyrone Tracy just cleared concussion protocol, so he is playing this week.
Tyrone Tracy's a league winner.
You think so?
Yeah.
As far as fantasy goes,
Yeah, that's why PJ wouldn't trade him to me.
Xavier McKinney caught some heat. He said he doesn't respect the Lions embarrassing other teams.
Who said that?
Xavier McKinney.
Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Everybody's embarrassed the Lions for 40 years that I can remember. So you know what? Shut the fuck
He'll
up.
find out.
You'll see this week. Yeah, you'll see this week when you get embarrassed. Go ahead.
The trade deadline's Tuesday.
Okay.
Is
I don't
there-
see the Lions doing anything.
I disagree.
You think that you think Monday on this show we're gonna be having a nice conversation?
I think Monday on this show we're going to talk about how great what's his name, something Muhammad and
Al Quadin Muhammad,
Yeah, who's
inshallah.
the other cat? Who's the other cat they got?
Not
Isaiah
Josh
Thomas.
Pascal. Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. Wow. Not the Piston Isaiah
Have you voted
Thomas.
yet?
I have not.
Have you voted
Going
yet?
tomorrow.
Absolutely. I went the first day. It
You're
was
going
eligible
tomorrow.
on
I'm
Saturday.
going on election day. I'm going to go on election day, but we can run it. No, it's the deadline's 3 or 4 o'clock. What I was going to say is maybe we do a trade deadline show because the trades are going to happen Tuesday. That's how it works. There might be some Monday.
It'll all be Tuesday at 1 o'clock.
So there's a report right now, not a report, but it's a theory, and it's a theory that we've pretty much assessed nicely on this show. So the AFC teams, there's so many 2-win and 3-win, 2-win mainly, but 3-win
Six of
AFC
them.
teams. They're all waiting just to see what happens this weekend to see like is it worth selling at this point? Like the Jets, prime example, they weren't going to sell because they're all in for the next 2 years. But people are trying the Jets approach. Oh, well, let's get that one win and see what happens. So let's run through it right now with the AFC standings, right? And we can go through all the 2-win teams to see who could potentially sell. But teams are going to wait until the results come in this weekend to make a determination on
Well,
what
the
they're going to do.
Patriots are already in with that deal.
They're dead. Patriots are
Correct,
stick
but
of-
they're in the
well,
selling mode.
supposedly they're looking to buy on a receiver, though.
Really?
All my Patriots beat reporters on Twitter
Okay.
talking about how the Patriots are searching for a wide receiver, and I'm sitting here thinking, what the fuck are you?
You know what good fit right there? Adam Thielen.
Well, they were talking about Adam Thielen being on the market trade
And
market
he's-
today.
You know, if I was
another
gonna,
old
I
white
was going
guy.
to say if Belichick was there, I
Adam
know
Thielen,
he would
he'd
be on
already
it.
be there.
He'd already be on the team.
All
Him,
right, so
him and Braxton Berrios.
real
ahead.
quick. Let's start at the bottom. I'll throw the Bengals and Jets in this conversation because I think the Bengals could end up selling if they lose, especially if they lose to the Raiders this weekend. But
But they're
there's-
3 wins.
there's about 10 teams here. Let's go through. We'll start from the bottom, and we'll see if there's anyone we want from those teams and go from there. The first one's obvious. It's the Titans, who have already been selling. 1
Well,
and
I
6.
mean, everybody's saying Harold Landry. I mean, everybody's been saying
Landry,
that
Arden
since-
Key. Arden
since-
Key is
who?
is on Arden Key, the linebacker, who's based in
Arden King is a defensive end.
Arden Key. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on the system. And same
Why,
with
he's
Harold
like
Landry.
6'6" or some shit like that. He's long. I mean, Landry. What is he? 30 what? What's Landry? 34?
No, I
No,
don't think he-
no,
32?
He was the
No, no, no.
2000.
Got to be in his 30s. No,
No.
Harold Landry.
He's younger than me.
Yeah, he
28.
Should, yeah, I was gonna say he
Oh,
should
fuck.
be in
I
there.
didn't realize he was
I,
that
I
young.
see. I don't mind the Lions trading for him.
Yeah, Harold Landry.
I
fits.
really like that. I know you got. I feel like everybody got so obsessed with the Max Crosby shit and the Myles Garrett shit.
This
Yes,
is Max Crosby.
you need one of those guys to replace
Because Max
Hutchinson.
Crosby is elite.
Well, yes,
He's elite.
but why?
Myles Garrett, he's elite. There's a big drop off between those two guys and everybody else. There's a big drop off.
Here's the problem with Landry is I don't think he's having a great year. In fact, Arden Key has 3 sacks in the last 2 games and has as many sacks on the year as Landry has.
I remember when the Raiders drafted Arden Key. Okay,
he had a hard.
and I was a big Arden Key guy coming out of
Harden.
LSU, dude. I thought he was a great player coming out of LSU, but then he turned into Randy Gregory, and he was bouncing all over the place. And I was just like, what the fuck? Guy can't stay with it, you know? So I don't know, dude. At this point in these guys' careers, who knows, dude?
Can we do a blast from the past real quick?
Yeah.
One of Uncle Sam's favorite players coming out of college, and he was so upset that the Lions didn't take him. Linebacker. Who am I talking about?
Kayvon Thibodeau?
No.
Oh.
Go back further.
That was 2 years ago.
He now plays
Yeah.
for the Arlington Renegades.
I don't even know who it is, dude.
And
What college?
he went to Auburn.
What year?
He was in the 2017 draft.
2017.
Chris Smith.
Did the 49ers draft him?
49ers did indeed
And
draft.
he played with the 49ers, and they got fucking hammer fucked for doing something. He was doing something that was vastly breaking the law and was suspended for multiple years.
The first arrest was possession of marijuana in Tuscaloosa County.
This is Alden Smith.
The
No.
second arrest, which was just 28 days later,
No,
was
he actually played for
domestic
Alabama.
violence, death threats, assault with a deadly weapon, and felony weapons possession charges.
Reuben Foster.
Then 2 months after that, he was charged with multiple domestic
Am I
violence.
wrong?
Hold
You are
Reuben Foster?
1,000% right.
hold on. In fairness to Reuben Foster, if that bullshit first domestic, which he didn't do anything
Correct.
wrong, didn't cost him
But he
his
got
year,
suspended for an entire year.
he
for
had
it.
a monster. He was good. listen, Reuben Foster was very, very
Until he
good.
hurt his knee.
And that was, if I remember correctly, that was John Lynch's first draft.
Yes.
And they ended up with 2 first-round picks, and they ended up fleecing the Bears. They were always going to take Reuben Foster, okay?
You know who took Reuben Foster's spot, right?
What's his
Warner.
face? Fred Warner.
Yeah.
So Reuben Foster. I used to have this argument all the time because the Lions took what's his face that year from Florida.
Galladay?
No, the linebacker
No.
that played with Anzalone at Florida.
Fucking trash.
That wasn't good.
Guy looked like Adonis and didn't know how to play football.
Yeah.
The guy, he looked apart, but he
Yeah.
just couldn't play football.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
He was horrible.
Hold on.
I'm trying to remember his name right now, man.
And he came back here 2 years ago.
I'm having
and
a-
got cut.
Fucking
Jared Davis.
Jared Davis.
Jared Davis.
That's
Guy-
who the
guy
Lions
looked like
drafted because they
Adonis.
needed a linebacker, and Reuben Foster was sitting there. But they did some finagling, like they wanted Reuben Foster at like they picked 2. The Bears traded them all these picks for Trubisky, and they were going to take Reuben Foster, but they heard he would be there, so they ended up taking Solomon Thomas from the Jet, who's now on the Jets. They ended up taking Solomon Thomas, and then waited. And John Lynch had a masterclass and used one of his Bears picks to get Reuben Foster.
Right.
And Reuben Foster was outstanding before the domestic violence, and then before the injury, and he just kind of like never found his footing after that.
After he blew his knee out, he came back and blew it out again.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Honest to God, real quick. This draft.
In college, dude, he was a motherfucking monster in college.
This draft, the top of this draft was awful. Miles Garrett went 1-1.
That's a good pick.
Great
mean?
pick.
That's
Okay.
he's the best player in the country.
Mitch Trubisky
Was
went
2.
1-2.
Yeah.
Well, that there was
Solomon
well,
Thomas was
Solomon
3.
Thomas went 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard
but
Fournette
Solomon Thomas was a monster in college.
for a second.
Leonard Fournette was a good player.
Fournette was 4.
He was good for years. Tell me the team, and I'll tell you who they picked. I'm just curious.
Tennessee Titans with the 5th pick.
Oh man.
It's gonna be the
What position? What position?
The worst top 5 pick I've seen. Wide receiver.
Corey Davis.
Yep.
Yep.
Jamal Adams went next.
That's a good pick.
Mike Williams went 7th.
No, I'll play the game with me. Tell me the team.
Okay.
8th.
Carolina Panthers.
That's not Luke Kuechly, right?
No.
It's not McCaffrey, is it?
It's McCaffrey.
Okay.
Cincinnati Bengals.
9. What position?
Wide receiver.
I don't know. Oh no, I do know.
Tyler
I do know.
Boyd.
I do know. No. From John Ross from Washington.
Ross.
From Washington.
And then Mahomes went next.
Jalen Ramsey was the year before. I was gonna say I thought there was some DBs that went high in this draft that I wanted. Mahomes was 10.
Mahomes was 10. New Orleans at 11.
Don't remember.
Lattimore.
Oh yeah, that's a
Carolina?
good pick. That's a
Yeah.
good pick.
12. The Houston Texans.
That's not Tunsil right now. That was
No.
a couple years before. Position and player.
I don't know what that is.
Position.
Sean Watson.
Sean Watson.
Son
Tucker?
Reddick, 13. Arizona.
I wanted him here. There were so
Marlon
many
Humphrey went
linebackers in that
16.
draft.
Marlon Humphrey went 16.
That's a good pick.
Washington at 17 took Jonathan Allen.
These are all guys that are still in the fucking league right now, dude.
Well,
He's talking about the top 10. The
Like,
top
yeah,
10 was
they're playing
bad.
at a high level.
Then you had Adoree Jackson, O.J. Howard, Garrett Bowles, Jared Davis, Charles Harris. There you go. Shout out to
there
Bruce.
you go, Bruce. Shout out to Bruce, Charles Harris.
Oh, gosh.
We got Charles Harris.
Yeah.
We got Charles Harris.
Zay Flowers or Johnson. I think, obviously, you go Flowers this week, but Pat Surtain concerns me. I don't know. I think Lamar's off the injury report, and he's a man on a mission right now.
I think I would play.
I think the Ravens are going to absolutely light up that Denver secondary. Deontay Johnson,
I
Zay
beg to differ
Flowers,
there.
whoever it is.
I beg to differ there. I think that Denver defense is a little better than people think.
No, it's a very good defense. I think it's a
Yeah,
very good
They put on a lot of pressure. They're going to put a lot of pressure on Lamar.
Pollard or Montgomery from the YouTube chat. That's a no-brainer for me.
I'm sorry?
Give me David.
Yeah,
Who?
If you have David Montgomery, you're starting him.
Who?
Starting him, Pollard
But
or Montgomery.
in fairness,
okay.
Tony Pollard
Yeah,
has
he's
been
had a
very
good
good.
year.
Tony Pollard has been very good. But it's not like David Montgomery's touchdown
Right, they
dependent,
still
right?
gotta
Like
go to the
he does it all.
curse.
we had a question.
Once again, David Montgomery is the engine that makes this thing go.
We had a question.
Period.
about a touchdown prop for this week. And
Okay.
I know we didn't really go through props all that much, but I want to give you guys the one that I had queued up this morning and see what you guys think. Okay? This is if you put 50 on this, it wins you 850. It's the anytime touchdown parlay. Derrick Henry against Denver. Jamar Chase against the Raiders. Bijan against the Cowboys. Barkley against Jacksonville. Montgomery against Green Bay. And Kareem Hunt against Tampa Bay.
The one that's going to kill you on this is Barkley. How many times has he fucking burned you?
He's due.
You know what they do? They tush push, dude.
That's
They don't even fucking look at him, dude.
But this
They
is
don't
what
even
I'm
look
saying.
at him, dude, near the goal line. It's
is what
fucking
you get-
bullshit.
You get better odds than you should
That
on
guy should be
Saquon
putting
Barkley.
30s up every week.
I'm aware. But if he's going to break a long touchdown, okay, he did it against Tampa Bay, did it against Green Bay. I think he does it against Jacksonville. And I think that's a good safe bet. If you want to take Saquon out, you got to replace him with somebody. So pick your person to replace him with. Who is your lock anytime touchdown?
I got a lock
I got
anytime.
it.
Let's see. I want to
Go
You
ahead.
go first. You go first.
You go first.
You go first.
Do I have to? Nick Chubb this week.
I was going to
Lock.
throw that one in there.
Sippy, who asked the
Lock.
question, is a huge
Nick
Nick
Chubb.
Chubb guy too.
Nick Chubb.
Okay, you throw Nick Chubb in there, your 50 now wins you 1,100.
Mine's
There you go.
CD Lamb.
There you go.
C.D. Lamb. So would you leave the Bijan in and have two from the same game, or take the Bijan out?
No, I don't love Bijan getting touchdowns.
Okay.
I gotta see it to believe
And
it.
we get better odds with CD. So now our 50 is now 1,400. Is there anybody else out of this that you would switch, plug and play, take out? We all like Henry against Baltimore
Yeah, against Denver. Yeah,
What do you mean?
or against Denver? I'm sorry.
Against Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Jamar against the Raiders.
Cedric Tillman.
yeah.
Cedric Tillman. Touchdown this week.
I'm not recommending that somebody lose their parlay based on Cedric fucking Tillman.
Okay, go ahead.
Robinson.
Huh?
Brian Robinson.
You like Bruce? Bruce could talk.
Can you put Jameer Gibbs in there too?
Of course, we can put Gibbs in there.
That one's a tough one.
Gibbs
They
actually
both have to fucking score. I mean,
And how many games has that happened in this year?
a
a
lot.
lot, but
I think all but 2.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
the game they couldn't score in. Is that what you're talking about?
gotta- Good
I think they
defense
both
coming
scored
up.
in that game too.
You did?
Yeah, they did.
You're wrong.
They did. The Cowboys, David Montgomery didn't score,
If we add
and there was
in
one more where Montgomery didn't score.
Jameer Gibbs and Cedric Tillman and take this to an 8-leg parlay, $50 wins us 13,000.
There you go.
All right, read it to me one more time.
So now we
You
have
do
Montgomery and
Robinson, you
Gibbs.
added Tillman.
Montgomery and Gibbs.
You said Brian Robinson, Bruce?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking for Brian Robinson. For some reason, I don't know if they don't have.
Commanders
odds
are
out on
playing the
it.
Giants. Oh, because he's banged up. Brian Robinson is
He's
injured.
not on
He's,
here
he's
yet.
banged
So we
up.
have David Montgomery, Jameer Gibbs, Nick Chubb, and Cedric Tillman. God. Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase, Kareem Hunt, and CeeDee Lamb.
Laporta. Should have every line on there besides
There was a couple that I was sitting here throwing back and forth. How do we feel about Kamara against Chuba Hubbard?
Actually, like
You
both
figure
them.
one of those two got to get in, right?
Yeah,
But which one do you pick?
Kamara. But wait, when was the last time he scored?
I feel like he's been in a little bit of a drought. That's why I didn't immediately put him in
Been
there.
in a drought since.
You got Taysom Hill back too, and he takes a lot of them goal line touches.
Which is crazy because Kamara still puts up absurd numbers without scoring touchdowns. That's,
Correct.
That's absolutely
Oh, my man puts up an easy 15 a week.
He hasn't scored a touchdown in 2 games.
Okay,
He had a 5 against Denver.
okay.
Put up a 15 last week against the Chargers.
There you go.
Without
Without a
scoring.
touchdown.
Right. So on the inverse of that, let's look at Chuba Hubbs.
Tubes.
Chuba Hubbard has scored 1, 2, 3. He has 4 touchdowns on the year. So I don't know if I would want to throw either of those in there. I feel good about this. So to answer your question, our anytime touchdown parlay is Montgomery and Gibbs, Nick Chubb, Cedric Tillman, Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase, Kareem Hunt, CeeDee Lamb. I think it's a good base to go off of the tipped parlay, and then you can add in you can add, subtract, multiply.
I would take
divide.
Saquon out.
You would take Saquon. Let's take. I took
Put
Saquon out.
Put Jalen Hurts in.
I took Saquon out. You want to
Oh,
toss?
I'm actually down for that.
You want to toss Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts anytime covers a passing touchdown too, doesn't it?
Well, we're at 9 now.
You might as well add Drake May in there.
Drake May might not even play.
I want to
Sure, you're not high.
If we take Cedric,
You
Tillman
know,
out,
I'm pretty sure
Can
I
you give
called.
him a fucking
I'm
drug
pretty
test?
sure I'll have to
you
go
want
back.
to pee in a cup, Bruce?
I might have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure I randomly said Drake May rushing touchdown last week,
You probably did.
and he got a rushing touchdown.
We need.
Or did
to
that
touch-
get called back?
I think it might have got
It might have
called
got called
back.
back.
That's the play you got hurt on.
Pollard against the Patriots is the only reason I've been considering him over Montgomery. We have a follow-up question. Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman, Jalen McMillan, or Worthy and to fill a wide receiver spot.
Say it one more time.
Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman, Jalen McMillan, or Xavier Worthy.
I would say Pittman.
Deontay Johnson, I think, is still banged up, and I just think Carolina.
I said he was hurt. If you remember, when they signed, I was like, isn't he hurt? I knew the fucker was injured in the last game.
I don't know. God, that's so.
You think they're lying
I don't
about
think
it?
Deontay Johnson has a breakout game his first week there. So what do you think?
I don't know. Some of those guys, other than Devontae Adams, some of those traded guys ended up doing something. Oh, and I guess Hopkins didn't as well.
Yeah, he had what? A touchdown?
I see where you're coming from on Pittman. I just think the biggest upgrade goes to Josh Downs. I think Josh Downs is the Colts receiver that you want this week. Deontay Johnson, like someone's got to catch balls there. Like they're the Lions now with how they're going to have to distribute the ball because there's like 5 legitimate pass catchers. Like Bateman was having a great year, still got Flowers. Likely and Mark Andrews, and now you're throwing Deontay Johnson in the mix. So I think it's going to be a little bit tricky for him. I don't love anything about Tampa this week. To me, the answer's Worthy on that list. I think Worthy's very much
I think I'm
due.
leaning that way too.
I think Worthy is due.
Chris comes back to us on our parlay. Nobody thinks AJ Brown scores this week against the Jags' terrible secondary.
Yeah, I mean we're high on all things Philly this week. It seems like we're high on all things Phillies this week. It seems like, but Chris, we picked the games on Wednesday, and none of us would be shocked if the Jags end up winning that game because Doug Peterson will school one of his students in Nick Sirianni against his former team. Like he might be out for blood this week, but no, I wouldn't be shocked if AJ Brown scores. Certainly wouldn't be shocked if Saquon scores. Love Jalen Hurts anytime this week, and then Devontae Smith. Like you can't rule him out as well. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I like this. This is a nice little one we got put together here. The Cedric Tillman thing worries me. Anybody listening to us risking their money on Cedric Tillman gives me a little
Whatever,
pause.
dude. He's my prop bet.
Cedric Tillman for the win.
Anytime touchdown, baby.
Oh gosh. How's TikTok doing? What do we got? Anything going on over there?
No.
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 All right. Is there anything else we need to clean up on as far as our games go this weekend? As far as picks, anything we need to discuss?
Maybe we were wrong.
All right, Patriots at Titans. We have all of us have the Patriots except for you. Do you want to change that or no?
No, I'm gonna hold Tennessee.
All right, Saints at Panthers. Uncle Sam and I both have the Saints. You and Bruce both have the Panthers. I'm standing pat on that one, but wouldn't be.
Derek
shocked if
Carr's
Panthers
back,
win.
right?
I think Carr's supposed to play. Yeah.
Yeah. If he's back, absolutely. I'll take
I'm gonna stick with the Panthers either way.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked there.
Carr's off the injury report.
All right.
Broncos, Ravens. Uncle Sam, you're the only one that
I'm
picked the
taking the
Broncos.
Broncos.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm all set
I'm
there.
good with Baltimore.
Raiders, Bengals. We were clean sweep on the Bengals.
God, that one worries the shit out.
T. Higgins is now out.
Fuck. See, why did you have to take Cincinnati?
I'll say this
You
much.
were the one that should have took the Raiders.
Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go back into the AFC standings and see which teams will be sellers come Sunday night.
Oh.
Can we do that?
Yeah, let's go.
So obviously we did the Titans, number 1. Number 2 was the Patriots, who have already been kind of selling, but
Can we jump back to Tennessee real quick?
yeah,
I don't think Tennessee's going to sell.
they've already sold a bunch of dudes.
I think they're done.
So you don't see them moving Arden Key or Harold Landry or
I don't think they're going to get back.
And there was only one guy that Detroit wanted for their team, and they didn't pull the trigger, and he re-signed
Which was
for the Titans.
Whomst.
D-tackle. They were the ones that were interested in him,
Talking
and he
about
wanted to
Justin
pre-sign.
Simmons.
Huh?
He's talking about Simmons.
What's that?
I
you
said
talking
you're talking
about
about Simmons.
Correct. He was the only one that was going to be worth a fuck that Detroit even looked at.
This is what I'll say.
You're about on the Titans.
On the Titans, the way I see the Titans becoming sellers is if the Myles Garrett thing disappears and the Max Crosby thing is completely off the table, then I could see them moving one of those guys to Detroit.
Yeah, which could totally happen because, I mean, again, like this is part of the reason for people who are up in arms about the Lions not making a trade. Trust me, it's extremely frustrating. I'm mad as well. Most of the deals still happen on deadline day because people wait to see what they have, and you don't know. Like of course, you could sell high or sell low at different points. But if you're a selling team, you get the best price the day of the deadline because teams become desperate. And they need to make a play. So that's why it's worth it for some teams to wait, and it's also worth it for the Lions to wait because they don't. You could overpay for someone. You could
Not
overpay
only
in a lot of
that,
senses.
somebody else might become available that you don't know about.
Exactly.
So I think that's why they're holding out.
Yep.
Do we think New England's going to sell?
I don't know who they have.
I don't think they have anything to sell.
That's movable.
What do they got
it
that
was
anybody
Ushi.
else wants right
It
now?
was Ushi who they sold. It was Josh Ushi. Like that's it. They're not going to move defensively. That's the only.
Right.
guy
I don't
that
think
comes to
there.
mind.
Who do you think there's somebody they'd sell offensively?
I don't know why they look for wide receiver. They got like fucking 5 of them there that they don't.
Well, because they're all dog shit.
No, they're not.
They're all dog
No,
shit.
that
dude.
Butte kid from LSU was good. He was really good with Jaden Daniels. He fucking real good with him.
He was good.
So I
Was.
don't.
Was.
Jalen Polk is a good receiver.
Oh god.
I don't want to hear that, dude. The Thornton kid is a fucking burner. I don't know why they can't get it together.
Because they're all dog shit.
I'm pulling out a candidate list too.
Cleveland, buy or sell?
Yeah, they're gonna. Zendarius Smith is gonna get moved.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna.
I think he's gonna get moved.
I think if they
win this week,
if they win this week, and I'm just saying, if they win,
Baltimore loses and they win, I don't think
Cincinnati's
them
the one
and
that's gotta
Cincinnati
lose, right?
are not out of it.
That was an extremely emotional win last week, and
I don't think it's gonna happen.
And I think that was all that was. I don't think there's any run in the Browns. I don't think they have to. Of course, yeah, you could say, oh, they just beat Baltimore. They can do it. I don't think there's any chance that they're going to run through Cleveland twice, that they're going to run through Pittsburgh twice,
No.
and that they're going to run through Baltimore again. I just don't see it. So I think they're very much sellers. They needed to make their team better because they're out draft capital for the Deshaun Watson trade. They've lost first-round picks the last couple of years. You got to remember that.
Lions are wearing white on white.
Yeah, they're wearing the all whites. Campbell said it in the press conference. He likes to wear the all whites outdoors and grass because he likes the grass stains on the all whites, and the captains do too. Another Patriot that can move is Jonathan Jones.
My mom used to hate that.
Jonathan Jones, anybody know?
No, I don't see too many suitors.
You know what? I mean, outside what Stevenson? What do they got left? Hunter Henry. I mean, that's all they got left. That's worth anything. You know.
Jacksonville's an interesting one.
Yeah.
You know what? Why does everybody think that Jacksonville's going to be in a fucking rebuild?
Because they.
Why do they think that?
There's a name that stands out with Jacksonville.
I don't.
Travis Etienne.
Yep.
What about him?
I think they're going to move Travis Etienne.
Really? You think they like Bixby better than him?
If you can get something for Etienne, you should move him.
Yeah. They're okay. Realistically, yeah, Houston picked up a loss yesterday, and they're still 4 games behind.
Can I tell you something? I genuinely believe that all of the 2-win teams are out of it. I think Miami's out of it. I think Cleveland's out of it. I think the Raiders are out of it. I think the Jags are out of it. I think the Patriots are out of it. I think the Titans are out of it.
Yeah, and
It's-
your
it's-
boy said he doesn't like the way he's being used in Miami.
Who? Odell, the ghost of Odell Beckham.
Yes.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Sell on
How's
him.
he
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, he was. No, well, he's bitching now to the
Yeah.
media that he's pissed off in the way the team has used him.
The Jets and Bengals, it's still tricky for me at 3 wins, but at least I could see them run. Like, I could see it. Like, I could see them not selling. 2 wins, statistically, you are out of it. Mathematically, you have a 2% chance at this phase in the game. And it almost never happens this late in the game. 2-5, 2-6, whatever you are. It's just, I just don't see it. So all of those teams, if you can get assets in return for guys that you aren't going to win with, go ahead and sell. And yes, that includes Za'Darius Smith, in my opinion. Jacksonville, we talked about the Raiders. Is there anyone worth moving on the Raiders? I don't know who stands out.
Max Crosby. I don't think there's anybody else. Unless Brock Bowers hits the market. I mean,
That's not happening.
I'm
He's
aware.
not going anywhere.
There's no more talent there. No. It's Max
Jacoby
Crosby.
Myers.
Cleveland Browns, we talked about it. Za'Darius Smith. Anyone else you guys can?
Why is Myles Garrett picking up all this trade talk though?
Because they're a bad team and he might not want to be there. People create narratives. Like he's not available. He's under contract for the next 3 years, right? Like those trades don't always happen. Those trades for and those are the trades that cost multiple first round picks to make happen.
Right.
Right? Like Deshaun Watson and who else? Khalil Mack. Matt Stafford, same drill. Those are the trades that end up warranting multiple picks, like those guys.
Yep.
They happen once every 2 or 3 years, right?
Easily once every 2 or 3 years.
Like, think about it. Even McCaffrey was, like, of course, great player, arguably the best at his position. It was, multiple seconds or something like that, or seconds and third. Like, it was nothing.
If he was
Brian Burns.
if he was able to stay healthy, that would have been a multiple first round deal too.
No, I disagree because he's a running back. That's by the price.
I
Like
still think-
that's still a high price mid-season. Like multiple second round picks, teams don't do that. You're just talking when we're talking about first round picks, like that's the guy, like the game changing guy that you need to win a Super Bowl. Like the Browns thought they were going to get it with Deshaun Watson. They thought that was the answer, was Deshaun Watson. It hasn't worked. It's been miserable.
Gibbs or Olave?
This week, I always like Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'd rather have Gibbs than a lot.
Yeah, I'd always like
Flex.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Forever and always. Keeping it going really quickly. The Dolphins, there's an interesting name that came up, and he kind of fits the Lions as well. Emmanuel Ogbah.
No.
So I've been hearing that.
3 years ago, yes. Now, no.
What about the Ojulari one?
The timing on Ojulari, because he's the first guy I talked about months ago.
I remember
like
that.
when they need someone. The timing on Ojulari is tricky because the Giants are out Thibodeau right now, and Burns is banged up. And Ojulari has played very well. He wasn't bad before. It was just a numbers game where he wasn't touching the field. Ojulari is a guy I would take a flyer on. Like, a part of me hopes that the Lions take a flyer on a guy that they could sign to keep opposite Hutchinson going forward, like to think long term. And I think that's what the Lions are going to be thinking. Like, is there a guy that we could pay the right price for that'll continue to be here, not just as a rental
I don't
after
think
this
they
year?
want to bring a rental in. I think they want somebody that's
I agree
gonna
with
be
that.
able to come.
Might be why they're waiting too. Darius Smith still has a year under his deal, if I can remember correctly, right?
I don't
so,
know.
yeah.
Ojulari.
I don't want them to get him. I don't want Za'Darius Smith.
He's had a good couple weeks though.
You know what though? They're few and far between. He was when he left Minnesota, and it's not there anymore for him.
Listen, hear me out really quickly on him because I didn't like him for the longest time, but
When he left Baltimore the first time, and he went to Green Bay, he was a real underachiever at Green Bay.
so he has sacks in 3 out of the last 4 weeks, and he's been playing so well. And I think that's almost like it. I think that's an actual thing. Like I think that's.
And
something
he's
we can
what?
read into
How old
in
is he?
audition. He's old.
He's in his 30s. No,
Yeah, but short term opposite Hutchinson, while you just develop another pass rusher to have Zendarius Smith for like 2 years, he's not Hutchinson's replacement by no means.
No.
Like he's not the Crosby Garrett,
I don't even think he's
And-
the guy opposite.
and I don't think he's 32. By the way, he's
Yeah, but him being opposite Miles Garrett, and really, I get it. He's had a few sacks because of Miles Garrett, because all the fucking line gets shifted to his side. But I just don't want to go with a guy that's. If you're going to get a guy that's seasoned, I want a guy that's elite.
Hendrickson.
I don't want. I would
Hendrickson-
rather have Hendrickson. than
Hendrickson
him.
has 7 sacks. Like he could,
How old
he
is he?
could legitimately come in. I think Hendrickson's old, 28, 29.
All right. Well,
but-
that's. I don't think 28
Well,
or
he's a lot
29
young.
is
He's
old.
younger than Zarius Smith.
he's
He's 29.
29.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Hendrickson's still obviously it's the coaching thing. He's a perfect fit. We're huge Raiders fans this week. We're huge Raiders fans this week because this is.
I
is
want the
one that
Raiders to
happens.
lose this week. I don't know about you, dude.
Why? Because of the Crosby thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's
I
happening.
want them to get embarrassed.
I just don't think it's happening. Crosby's something I could see in the offseason, but you can make like Trey Hendrickson makes sense. He's not Hutchinson, but he can play at a high enough level to sustain this defense through the rest of the year. And if you sign him, like you got a guy you could put opposite Hutchinson. That's the guy. Like this is a game. Hendrickson's legitimately a game record. He's got more sacks than Max Crosby, T.J. Watt, Trayvon Walker. Ojulari's on this list too. Like, I don't know. There's some guys that make sense that would get me going. Someone suggested yesterday Will McDonald, and I was like, oh, it's great. Maher, shout out to Maher. I was like, that'd be great, but he's in the second year there. He's in the second year
not
for the
going
Jets. He's very good, by the way.
He's
Will
the only one
McDonald.
they got
As a pass rusher, he's the only one
as
they
of
got.
right now. Till you got one guy who on the other end who can't even.
Reddick.
Yeah, you can see he's not in shape.
Aiden Hutchinson hasn't played in 3 weeks, and he's still third in the league in sacks, and he's only 1.5 off.
He got 4 in one game. That's why.
Take those 4 in one game out, he'd still be very top 10 on this list right now.
We have one more fantasy question in the chat. In a half-point PPR league, would I be crazy to trade Amon-Ra for A.J. Brown?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What about you?
Oh, I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so.
Amon-Ra's a ride or die. He finishes higher than everyone every year. He stays healthy. I think
I would hold Amon-Ra right now.
I would hold
Yeah,
Amon-Ra.
but AJ Brown,
Yeah, but
usually
he
he
ain't
gets
that
hurt
deep
once
threat.
a year.
PPR.
It happens.
PPR.
Oh,
PPR.
half point PPR. You said
Half-point PPR.
no. I would go with fucking Brown, dude. If it was PPR, not half point PPR, you got a better chance of getting touchdowns with AJ Brown than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Well, not true.
I don't know about
Hey,
that.
Really, you're gonna start
J-Mo-
talking shit now?
JMO we're playing, that's true because
I do.
Dolphins spreading the
Listen,
ball
you need
around,
to
bro.
forget about the JMO thing right now, because guess what? Your prop bet
They were
this
out.
week for the Detroit Lions better be only one person at receiver.
Khalif Raymond.
That's it.
Not even Tim Patrick.
He gonna let the dog out so y'all can see he's the number 2 guy on
He's
this
gonna
team.
let the dog out.
So you
baby.
can see who's really the number 2 guy on this team.
He's gonna let.
he do
Khalif
indeed.
Raymond.
He do indeed got that dog in him.
What about where's Allen Robinson been?
That was his first game.
Allen
It was her second
Robinson-
No,
game.
baby. Allen
It'll-
Robinson.
it'll happen.
Go
Allen
stuff.
Robinson is exactly where he needs to be.
Hey, fuck it.
On
What
the
about Tom
sidelines with
Kennedy?
the fucking clipboard.
His
I
prac-
thought you said he
practice
needed to
squad.
be at McDonald's.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, before when they first signed him, you said that the only place Allen Robinson should be is at McDonald's.
What's wrong? What's wrong with the clipboard? I think it's a good thing for him. He could start his coaching career now.
What if the Lions bring in 2 guys? Would that move the needle for you guys a
Yes.
little bit further?
Yes.
Like if they bring in 2 of these names,
Yeah. Like if it was Harold Landry and Zadarius Smith, I wouldn't care.
not Harold Landry, but what about like Zendarius Smith and Ojulari?
I would love it.
By the way, both Ojulari has 6 sacks.
Because
he didn't even play at the beginning
That
of the year.
situation that fixes both problems because you have Ojulari, who you're going to keep long term, and have him on opposite Hutchinson, and Zadarius Smith. He doesn't replace Hutchinson for this year, but he at least plugs the hole a little bit. I have no issue with that.
Plugs the hole.
Ojulari didn't even play for most of September, and he still has more sacks than Brian Burns, his own teammate. He wasn't even dressed for the first. No, I'm sorry. He was dressed, but had minimums.
Brian Burns came into the season banged up. He had that bad ankle in training camp.
He's still
all
Brian Burns.
training camp.
He's still Brian Burns, though.
Yeah, well, he showed that already.
Still Brian Burns.
That's it.
You don't think there's any situation where they could move him?
Brian Burns?
No, he's
No. No.
he's locked in, dude.
No.
He's locked in.
We have one more fantasy question. Dynasty League. 12-team PPR. Rebuilding the orphan team I took over, currently 1-7. Would you trade Chase Brown for an early 2025 second-round pick?
Yes.
Yes, without question.
Yes.
Who?
Chase Brown.
The running back?
Yes.
Yeah.
For who?
For an early
For a
second.
second-round pick.
Would,
yes.
would totally do that.
Would do it in a heartbeat. Chase Brown's not going to be a long-term.
Yeah,
solution
he's they're in the market for a running back. They're in the Ashton Genty conversation.
Yeah.
I say we do a dynasty now.
I've been wanting to
But
do
like
a
a
dynasty
joke
league.
around. We got to try it first.
We have
I'm-
different people in the league every year.
I'm not
And you're
keen
going to
on
have
the
to get another
IDP.
one next year because I'm out.
No
not keen on
IDP
that.
for dynasty.
I'm not keen on the IDP. Well, just in general, like it's a lot of work for me. I would love to do. I've never been in an auction league somehow before,
Honestly, I
and,
would be open to
and those are the new hotness. And then there's another one called a guillotine league. I don't know if you've seen
that.
those.
You're out.
You lose, you're out. You lose, you're out. You redraft every week, and if you lose, you're out.
I've heard of that too.
What do you mean you redraft every week?
It's not head to head. It's not head to head, and so you draft a team for week 1. You field a team, okay, and then you score. Your team scores points. The team with the lowest scoring points. It's not head to head. The team that scores the lowest is done for the year. You could do
Oh,
a guillotine league in the middle of the year.
So
too.
you're out like at the first week 1, you could be
be done
fucking
with the
out.
You could be done.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, those are becoming very popular.
There's a name that's starting to circulate between the Lions and the Ravens on Twitter. Jadeveon Clowney.
Dude, those
It's-
people are just
no.
finding people and putting them out.
Jadeveon Clowney makes sense if you have someone else. He's filler. He's filler. He's in Baltimore still.
No.
I didn't think he was.
The Ravens trading back for him.
For who? Clowney?
Mhm.
For what? They got a bunch of young guys here that need reps, dude. What
Here-
the fuck? Dude?
Here are the names. Here are the names that I like. The names that I love that I've heard. Obviously Hendrickson. I'll put him number. The realistic names, by the way, and I would call Hendrickson realistic just because his situation's bad and his team is shit. So I would call Hendrickson.
Yeah, but I don't know about that. I mean, if they win this week, they're still in.
Yeah.
Unless they're out, I don't think he's going anywhere.
But they still have a stupid, cheap owner who he already held out and fought with this offseason.
yeah,
so
but
you
he
have to
held
stop.
out, got what he wanted too.
He didn't get what he wanted. He did not get what he wanted. And he's a free agent after this year, too. He's done, like, his deal was restructured. What he wanted, the only thing he got is he can opt out and get the fuck out of that situation at the end of the year. Would you call Hendrickson more realistic than Crosby or Garrett?
Yes.
Okay, so out of the realistic names, Hendrickson, I'm ranking number 1. Ojulari, I'm ranking number 2. Zendarius Smith, I'm ranking number 3. Number 4, I would put Harold Landry. And then number 5 would probably be some tie between Carl Granderson and Chase Young. And I wouldn't want either of those guys, by the way. But if you end up with if they somehow ended up with
They
two names on
had
that
their
list-
opportunity to take Chase Young, and they chose not to.
but he didn't. They were right. He didn't do anything. They would have
chose not
paid for nothing. If you could get this is different. If you could get him for like a 6th or a 5th. Last year, Chase Young went for what, a 2nd or a 3rd?
3,
Wasn't it a 3rd?
3rd.
I think right now, obviously, move away from realistic. Who does everybody want?
Max Crosby.
Everybody wants Crosby. Okay.
Crosby wants it.
If that doesn't happen, I agree with Ojulari. I think Ojulari would be my number 1.
Like, wouldn't you feel
I
good?
just don't see them giving up the collateral they need to get Crosby. So
No,
think
I
that-
disagree.
I think that's
do.
a done deal.
I do
think
because
they would, and the Raiders won't do it.
I do because you open the window for 2 years if you get Crosby. He's under contract
I
at
agree.
a reasonable hit.
I agree with that, but I don't think that's what they're.
No, I disagree.
willing
I
to
think they do 2 firsts for Crosby. I really believe that
yeah,
because
but
he's
it's
like
going to take more than that. I don't see them giving up more than that.
2 firsts and another pick.
Yeah.
Like I think Stafford held more value in the Rams trade. I think that's your barometer. Is
Correct.
Khalil Mack 2 picks, day 2, an early day 3 or a day 2 pick, maybe a player if you have a prospect you can trade. The Lions are going to be reluctant to trade any prospects because they like developing their prospects. I would feel if it's not them, I would feel really good if they landed 2 of these guys. If it was like Ojulari and Za'Darius Smith, you get Za'Darius Smith for like a 4th. And then you get Ojulari for maybe a 5th or something like that.
You know, they don't. What don't they have? They don't have a 6, right? This year, they don't have a 6.
Correct.
They have 2 7s. If I'm not mistaken. They have 2 7s.
This year, I think
No
they get
6,
they get an extra
no
4th for
5.
DeAndre Swift from the Eagles this year,
they get an extra 4, so they have 2 4s.
and then they
No
also
5s.
they're gonna get a comp pick for losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They'll get a comp pick this year for losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
What's the comp pick on him?
Probably a 4 or 5.
4 or 5, maybe a 5 then.
Yeah. Here I'm doing it right now.
They have a 1, a 2. The 3rd went to the Jets for the Giovanni Manu pick. They have a 4th.
They have no 3.
They had 2 4ths and
They
got
have
rid
2
of one.
4ths. They have a 5th. They have no 6s. They have no 6, which is fine. You don't need that.
It says here they got a 6 from
2
Tampa for Carlton Davis.
A 6 from Tampa for Carlton Davis.
As part of the trade.
Got it.
And they have 2 7s.
2025 draft picks.
They have a 1st, a 2nd, a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, and 2 7s.
Yeah, like if they gave up all those day 3 picks, if they gave up, I would give up the day 2. Like I would give up the 3rd
I would
for
give them the 4th and the 5th.
for Trey Hendrickson. You give up the 3rd. I'm doing that in a heartbeat, and that's probably like in a scenario where the Bengals move Hendrickson. That's what it'll cost. Is a 3rd, is a later day 2 pick, right? Imagine if you can get him and pair him with one of these guys somehow. Like just imagine.
Is there any players that you'd be okay? Like, who's untradeable?
Untradeable.
Untradeable. Who would you not trade in a Max Crosby situation?
Give me names, and I will tell you if they're tradable or not.
Jared Goff.
Fuck.
Untradeable.
Untradeable. Both running backs are untradeable.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra is untradeable.
Amon-Ra's untradeable.
Sam Laporte is untradeable.
Anyone that's got Sam Laporte is untradeable. Anyone who's got a long-term deal recently,
Right.
or
Montgomery.
is lurking for one, like Kirby Joseph or something like that, they're untradeable. You could move like a Melifonwu. You can move. He's a player you could sell someone on. You could try and sell someone on.
Enrique.
That's it. It depends on the deal, and I've thought about this. He's a name that's going to come up.
I know.
And they might feel okay because they have Broderick Martin lurking and Mekhi Wingo lurking. They might feel okay with that. I don't think they're going to because of the way Enrique has played so far this year.
Jack Campbell.
It depends on the deal. If you can get Crosby, like the only way I'm moving Jack Campbell is if you can get Crosby or if you can get Myles Garrett.
Alex Anzalone.
Same deal. The impact that Anzalone has in the locker room is unparalleled for the Lions, even if he's not on the field.
Brian Branch is untradeable.
Yeah, 100%. Best player in the defense.
Kirby Joseph.
Untradeable. You can maybe consider a linebacker, so it would be Malcolm Rodriguez is probably the odd one out there. You can consider that, and that's only because Nowoski has been so good.
Trevor Nowoski, baby. Trevor Nowoski.
He's still sleeping in his childhood bed, by the way.
Is Pat O'Connor tradable?
Yes.
You think so?
No. He's a vital piece of this organization.
What about Hendon Hooker?
I don't think they would do that. You would need a backup quarterback coming.
Yeah, the Aiden O'Connell. Bring Aiden O'Connell down.
Jesus. Fuck.
I got a better one.
Gardner Minshew, baby.
Bring Joe Flacco in.
Oh, all right.
James.
Is there any more
Talking
fantasy?
shit right now. If they had Joe Flacco here, I'd be so happy.
Whatever, dude. This Joe Flacco. Is there any more fantasy questions we need to touch?
Well, obviously, our idea didn't work out too well for Friday. I think we
I
should
think
go
it
back
was
to
just
Wednesdays.
I don't know how it happened, but TikTok just didn't catch today for some reason, which I think is so strange because usually around this time it's
Yeah.
at like 10 people. I don't know what happened.
Anything to add?
No.
Anything to add?
No.
Bruce, you got anything to add?
Go Lions.
Go Lions, baby. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, check us out on YouTube. Remember to click subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when we go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday sometime around 5. And then you can also watch us live on TikTok. Join us in the chat. Let us know all of your fantasy questions. We'll be back again on Monday for Victory Monday. Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.